I just want to give you some tips now, some things that I've found over the years of work really well. And these are little techniques that I think have a very big impact, particularly on your capacity to manage complex coaching situations. And one of the most important things in coaching is to be able to size problems such that you can actually get your arms around them. The worst thing that can happen in coaching is you feel like you could flip chart the issues that a person's talking to you about. There's so many things in the room, so much ether, so much noise that you really can't handle it. And so sizing, bringing problems and situations down to something which you can put your hands around really matters. So I'll talk about a couple of these things. The first one is wants. It's always curious to me that people have this enormous capacity to describe in detail problems. They will wax on forever about a problem without any exit point, almost like sort of ruminating out loud. And you'll know this feeling when somebody comes into your office and they do a big problem dump on you and you just want to sort of hide in a hole and get on with your work. So a couple of things to do. First of all, when people are at you with problems, to pause them and to simply say to them, what do you want? Or what is the outcome you want? Is a profoundly useful question, because what it does is it takes them out of problem into solution with a very simple proposition. And I'll give you an example. I was working with an ops director who was a really talented leader in manufacturing. And he was in my office and he was talking about a problem person in his team. And you know what these people are like. And he went on and on. And I mean really on and on. And about 20 minutes into it, and this was a bit of a fluke, I have to say, I just stopped him and said, look, I've heard all that stuff. What do you want from this person? And the truth of it was he had never thought about that, nor did he know the answer to that question. Brilliant at identifying the problem in massive detail, but he never thought about what he wanted from the person. And this is literally true. He spent 6 minutes walking round and round and round my office, getting really irritated, trying to answer that question about what he wanted from that person. He cursed me a couple of times. He was really agitated. And then finally, in 6 minutes, imagine 6 minutes of silence with an agitated person trying to answer a simple question. And he came back at the end of it and he said, you know, I only want 2 things. And he named the 2 things. And one of them was actually his problem, was something he wasn't doing well, and it was about role clarity. And there was, in fact, a want that was completely valid and reasonable. And we worked on that want for the next half an hour and got some fantastic outcomes. Now, the alternative to that would have been to flip chart the room with 50 problems and try and work our way through those, which I can't do. You can't do. It's too hard. It's too complex. It's too much. So that simple question, what do you want, can be profoundly useful. And then there's this thing that attaches to that when people will pose a problem in front of you, for example, handling difficult people. And they'll want to tell you, as I just gave in that example, every single detail about the person. They'll want to get really embedded in that problem. And so your problem question could be, oh, you know, can you tell me why this person is so difficult? Why do you think they resist change? Don't, is my suggestion to you. Avoid the why question and instead say, what do you want from that person? I can't tell you how many people in coaching have told me about difficult relationships with their managers. And they will go on and on and on, really on and on and on. And what I'm suggesting you do is that you simply say, what sort of relationship do you want to have with your boss? And pull them out of that long dissection of the issues they have with their boss. Because from that want, what sort of relationship do you want to have with your boss? You've then got a really constrained number of issues. Well, actually, I want my boss to give me regular feedback. I want my boss to respect my opinion. I want my boss to understand the work I do. Bing, we've now got some really meaty and substantive issues to coach to, as opposed to a long list of all the things that are irritating. about relationship with the boss.